We all know what happened to the Branch Davidians in Waco, Texas, but what do they really believe, and how is 5 layers of biblical prophecy involved?
It all starts in the 1840s when Baptist minister William Miller says the world is going to end in 1844 because the 2300 days in Daniel's age were actually years. Spoiler alert, the world doesn't end, and this is literally called the Great Disappointment. Prominent Millerite Ellen G. White claims to be a prophet and writes a lot of books and pamphlets about what the Great Disappointment means, but also that the world is going to end very soon. She takes large swaths of these disappointed Millerites and helps shape what becomes the Seventh-day Adventist Church. Fast forward a few years, and a Bulgarian bellhop named Victor Hotef reads Revelation 7 and sees that only 144,000 people make it into heaven. Slight problem here though, there are more than 144,000 Adventists, so he comes to the natural conclusion that only some Adventists get to go to heaven, and also the world is going to end very soon. In 1929, he writes a book called The Shepherd's Rod and starts interrupting Adventist services to spread his message. This gets him excommunicated, but importantly, Hotef was not trying to start a new denomination. In 1942, Hotef's group, still focused on the Shepherd's Rod, officially establishes the Davidian Seventh-day Adventist Church to avoid being drafted into World War II. They also construct the Mount Carmel Center in Waco, Texas. Mount Carmel is where many Christians, Adventist and non, think the world is going to end. This typically, though, refers to the one in Israel that Elijah talked about, but hey, branding is branding. In 1955, Victor Hotef dies, and this man, Benjamin Roden, takes over. And he is certain the world is going to end any day now. And also, he's a prophet, apparently. In 1981, a 21-year-old fella named Vernon Howe shows up who spiritually and literally cucks Benjamin by having some Bible prophecy and chill time with his wife, Lois Roden. 2 years later, in 1983, Howe, now going by David Koresh, would split from Lois to form the Davidian Branch Davidian Seventh-day Adventist Association. In 1987, Koresh writes a rock diss track that goes way too hard about Benjamin's son George, and a small gang of his followers would go to Mount Carmel, have a shootout with George, and take ownership of the center and all of its followers. Koresh then realizes that obviously the world hasn't ended yet because he hasn't had sex with everyone's wife and he has to give birth to 12 kids to unseal the 7 seals in Revelation. Obviously. And also, since the world's definitely absolutely going to end very soon any day now, why not get some grenades? In 1993, the ATF would hear about these grenades and attempt to execute a search warrant that would lead to a 51-day standoff that saw 82 Davidians and 4 ATF agents die.